Sometime in 2017, Europol got their hands on a collection of child abuse photographs someone had submitted to the dark web. They wanted to figure out where these pictures were taken. They knew they were taken somewhere in Southeast Asia because of the distinctive power plugs and likely took place in a hotel room, but nothing aside from that. They sat on them for a while until someone said, "You know what? Let's try something." And so, on August 11, 2017, they censored one of the images and posted it on Twitter with a simple question: "Do you know where this is?" In less than 2 days, the Twitter community narrowed down the setting of the picture not only to a specific country or city, but to an exact hotel room on a tiny island in the middle of the ocean. With this information, authorities had a breakthrough in the investigation of not only this specific case, but into a major child abuse ring active on the dark web. This unusual approach to such a major criminal investigation is a part of an experimental online project that launched approximately 2 years ago, titled Stop Child Abuse, Trace an Object. The concept is very simple. People are encouraged to visit the campaign website and identify objects or locations found in the background of child abuse digital media. These objects range from everyday household items like shampoo bottles, magazines, and clothes to outdoor public locations such as parks, pools, and streets. The program has been successful so far and continues to gain in popularity. On launch day, Europol only made a batch of 20 images available to the public. In less than 2 weeks, they received 10,000 anonymous tips from the public. Seeing how popular the initiative was, Europol released a few more batches of images, which resulted in an additional 11,000 tips. That means that in just 1 year, Europol received a total of 21,000 tips, which led to the identification of no less than 79 objects and locations out of a total 119 images posted on the campaign website over the course of that year, resulting in a success rate of 66%. The police makes it clear, these are 79 identifications that would not have been possible without help from people like you. That's because this campaign is used as a last resort measure. For decades, authorities have been reluctant to crowdsource their investigations out of privacy concerns, but the rise in the production and availability of child pornography and the increasing technological sophistication of the offenders means law enforcement had no choice but to even out the playing field by using technology and social media to their advantage. Now, of these 79 identifications, 32 materialized into concrete pieces of evidence in criminal investigations, resulting in at least one known arrest. The other 45, as explained by former Europol Director Rob Wainwright, are still extremely useful to law enforcement, as they eliminate investigative trails and save hundreds if not thousands of man-hours, allowing authorities to concentrate on more promising cases. Wainwright explains, quote, "In many of these cases, the key breakthrough has been established through a small piece of evidence, like an object in the background of an image. The hotel room case we talked about before is only one example of this." And here's another one. Europol posted this image on its website and asked members of the public to find out where it is. Later, it was revealed that this image was related to a cold case dating back almost 20 years. At first glance, this image contains no identifying markers whatsoever, but this didn't stop engineering consultant Carlos Gonzalez from painstakingly conducting his own investigation, in which he went through historical military archives, viewed satellite imagery, calculated proportions, distances, and ratios, went through hundreds of hours of archival footage, old newspapers, cached versions of websites that don't exist anymore, and the list goes on and on and on. His investigation deserves an entire video of its own. But he did it. He tied this completely unremarkable location to a specific point on the outskirts of a small village in Ukraine. In other cases, they managed to identify and locate specific victims of abuse from nothing but a blurry image of food packaging and waste containers, which were identified by, you guessed it, random people online. Now, this isn't a new concept. Way back in 2004, the FBI launched a similar program called Endangered Child Alert Program, or ECAP for short, which sought to identify unknown individuals involved in the abuse of children and the production of abuse material. There are a few major differences in the approach of these two programs. Specifically, Trace an Object wants to identify objects and locations, whereas ECAP seeks to identify perpetrators and persons of interest in child abuse cases. My favorite thing about ECAP's approach is their, some would say, very American attitude. Europol carefully strips all its images from anything that may identify perpetrators or victims, while the FBI just goes, "This guy's a child molester, this is what he looks like, this is what he sounds like, tell us who he is, thanks." This aggressive investigative approach seems to pay off. In a 2006 report, only 2 years after the launch of the program, the FBI stated ECAP was directly responsible for the arrest of 6 child abuse suspects and the successful identification of at least 30 more victims. Since the publication of this report 13 years ago, the FBI has remained suspiciously quiet about just how effective the program is. But the fact that the program is still active today, that it's being regularly updated, with suspects being added and removed from the webpage all the time, combined with the fact that the internet exploded in popularity in the last decade, means ECAP's reach and effectiveness is better than ever. Just earlier this year, the FBI published these pictures of a suspect on the ECAP website. As you can see, they are grainy, low quality, and unclear, not to mention 4 years old at the time of publication. It generated some buzz online, enough to be picked up by a local TV station.
We're about to show you those pictures, but police and FBI agents are hoping that this billboard near 70 and Emerson will help spark someone's memory of who they're calling John Doe number 38. He's involved in some child sexual exploitation.
Between this broadcast and the online community, enough information was gathered to locate and arrest John Doe number 38 in just a few days. Enough with the history lesson. I want to take you through some of the cases currently posted on the Europol and FBI websites. Keep in mind that even though these images and videos have been completely censored, they may still be unsettling to some. To quote former Europol Director Rob Wainwright again, remember, your help can provide the one piece of information that leads to the rescue of a child. Now, you don't have to go Carlos Gonzalez on this one, but if you do recognize something, please submit an anonymous tip to the authorities. I've left all the relevant links in the description box below. Let's start with some of the people wanted by the FBI for child abuse. This first case comes from the ECAP website. John Doe 17 was added to the database just a few months ago. The FBI confirmed that this man is a suspect in a child abuse investigation, not just a witness or a person of interest. What's frustrating about this case is that we have not only pictures of his face, but also a short video and high-quality audio recordings of his voice. Let's take a look at the video first. In this video, John Doe 17 appears to be handling what looks like a child-sized swimsuit. In the audio clips, he appears to be speaking directly to his victim, the same one from the video. I want to warn you again, what John Doe 17 says in the context of this video may be upsetting.
That way we can see how the suit needs to fit you. See, if he takes those pictures, then he knows what the suit needs to look like. Alright, let me put it over your head, and you can put your arm. Now remember, this is his. Looks like it would be nice and cool in the summertime, though. No, I didn't say we could go swimming. Swimming is, it's too cold out. Well, more than I want to pay for it right now. I think that part goes in the front. I think it's shorter than the other side. I think it goes in the front. Take them off your feet and turn them around. Try that and let's see how it works.
He is described as a white male, approximately 210 to 250 pounds, with curly brown hair. He speaks in clear North American English, and the FBI believes he is American. His current whereabouts are unknown. The FBI is also looking for John Doe 13. He, like John Doe 17, was captured on camera committing acts of abuse on a young child. He is described as a white male, weighing between 180 and 200 pounds, and his current whereabouts are unknown. Here we have Jane Doe 39. She is one of the few women on the ECAP database. She is not believed to be a direct perpetrator of child abuse, but she may have critical information pertaining to the identity of a victim. She appears in a video which was uploaded to the dark web sometime before April 2016. From this video, the FBI was able to extract this voice sample of her speaking in Vietnamese. Jane Doe 39 is described as an Asian female, likely between the ages of 25 and 35, with long black hair. This is John Doe 41. He is wanted in connection with a video produced sometime between 2016 and 2018 depicting the abuse of a young boy in a bathroom. We can see numerous objects in the background, many of which have now been identified. John Doe 41 is described as a black male, likely between the ages of 18 and 20. He appears to be a thin-framed individual with black hair. There are many more suspects on the ECAP website, but I simply don't have time to go through all of them today. The FBI is also seeking to identify locations in which child abuse was filmed. For example, these two images were taken inside a restaurant. Have you ever been inside this restaurant? Or maybe you've seen this stained glass from the outside while driving by. The FBI says there is no clue or piece of information too small to be reported. Here we see a bedroom. Pay special attention to the sweater hanging from a chair. Can you make out what it says? Maybe recognize the logo? This is another bedroom. It features a very distinct headboard. Have you seen a headboard like this before? This is a hooded sweatshirt. Do you know where it is sold, or what brand it may be? This appears to be a box with a logo on it that reads J. Benillo. Does this name or brand mean anything to you? Can you make out what these posters and certificates say? Can you recognize any of these trophies? 3 more shots from 3 different houses. These are a few years old, but it is possible that the layout has not yet changed. The FBI suggests that these are handwritten numbers on a wall. In a similar vein, this is a handmade sign. Do you know what it means? Do the letters QTL mean anything to you? The following scenes and items come from the Europol database. This is some sort of sports arena, likely in Central or South America. This is a picture of a porch taken from the inside of the house. It could be in Europe. In the background of this image, we see a building with some sort of outdoor attachment to it. And this is an advertisement flyer. Can you make out what it says, what it advertises, or where it's made? This is a baby bottle. Do you know where it is sold? Now take a look at these items of clothing. Can you make out any of the logos? Do you know where any of these are sold? Have you ever seen anyone wearing these clothes? Every little detail matters. To get more information about any of these pictures, or to make an anonymous tip, please follow the links in the description box below. Thanks for watching.